For every swing, every moment, the Milwaukee Brewers fight. It's not just about hitting the ball, it's about leaving a legacy.
Hey, Brew Crew, welcome back to Brewers Fan Central, your #1 spot for the hottest news, the biggest scoops, and the deepest analysis on our beloved Milwaukee Brewers. I'm Troy Bennett, and I'm here to break down everything happening with our team. Before we dive into today's topic, and believe me, it's a heavy one that hits right at the heart of the fan base, I need to ask you a very important favor. If you're like me, you live and breathe the blue and gold, and you want to make sure you get the most accurate information and exclusive insights before anyone else, do yourself a solid, hit that subscribe button right now and ring that notification bell. It's free, it's fast, and it's the only way to guarantee you won't miss any crucial updates on our team. We're building the most informed community of Brewers fans out there, and I want you to be a part of it. Don't miss out. All right, let's get straight to it. I've spent the last few weeks monitoring the chatter, talking to my sources, and digging through every report since our incredible season came to such an abrupt end in the NLCS against the Dodgers. The offseason has barely begun, and what I'm hearing is not exactly what a fan base that just witnessed the best regular season in franchise history wants to hear. The news I'm bringing you today is an exclusive scoop coming from an extremely reliable source in the MLB media, Robert Murray at Fansided, a guy who has his ears to the ground across the league and is rarely wrong. According to Murray's report, the Milwaukee Brewers front office is, and I'm quoting here, willing to listen to trade offers for our ace, our fastball Freddie Peralta. Yes, you heard that right. The heart of our 2025 rotation, the man who was a legitimate Cy Young candidate, is officially on the discussion block. Now, before panic completely takes over and we start imagining the worst, let's coldly analyze what this actually means within the Milwaukee Brewers management philosophy. Willing to listen is not by any means the same as putting him on a discount sale rack, but it is undeniably and unfortunately the first step down that same painful path that we as fans have seen walked before. We saw it with Josh Hader. We saw it more recently and more painfully with Corbin Burnes. Peralta is coming off the best season of his career, and that's not an exaggeration. We're talking 17 wins, leading the league, a 2.70 ERA over a career-high 176.2 innings pitched. He was the rock, the pillar who carried us when the rotation was hit with injuries. He was the stopper who led us to the best regular season record in franchise history, and that is precisely why his value is at its absolute peak. And here is the why this news exists, looking at it from the cold, calculating perspective of the front office. Peralta is entering his final year of team control before hitting free agency. The Brewers very smartly already exercised his $8 million team option for the 2026 season. Honestly, $8 million for a pitcher of this caliber in today's market is an absolute bargain, one of the best value contracts in the league. But 2027 is the free agency year. The Brewers playbook, written by David Stearns and now executed by Matt Arnold, is crystal clear. Maximize the return on an asset when that asset's value is at its zenith, especially when a long-term contract extension is unlikely. And Peralta's value has never been, and perhaps will never again be, as stratospherically high as it is right this moment. This is what makes this news such a gut punch. We, the Brew Crew, just witnessed a magical season that ended in frustration. The collective feeling was that we were one or two pieces away from truly contending for the World Series. And now, the first major news of the offseason isn't about adding those pieces, but about the possibility of subtracting our most valuable piece in the rotation. It's a sick-to-your-stomach feeling for fans who just want to see this team finally get over the hump and bring a title to Milwaukee. Now, let's dive deeper into the market analysis and what this move means strategically. Robert Murray's report was very clear on one point, and this is where I see the front office's true strategy unfolding. The top name on the trade market in terms of elite starting pitchers is Tarik Skubal of the Detroit Tigers. However, I've heard from multiple sources, and Murray himself mentions it, that the asking price from Detroit for Skubal is astronomical, almost untouchable. The Tigers don't need to trade him and will demand the sun and the moon. And this puts Freddie Peralta in a unique and very coveted market position for those teams that are desperate for a true ace, a legitimate top-of-the-rotation guy, but are unwilling or unable to empty their entire farm system for Skubal. Freddie Peralta effectively becomes option 1A. He is far more affordable financially at his $8 million salary, and while the return package would still be gigantic, he would require slightly less in terms of prospect capital than Skubal. And when I say gigantic, I want you to understand the Brewers are not going to pick up the phone for anything less than a franchise-altering package. We are talking about multiple top 100 prospects or a young, established MLB position player with years of team control, or more likely a combination of both. The front office is not foolish. They know exactly the caliber of player they have. Murray's report also mentions, and this is crucial for us, that it is going to take an enormous effort to acquire him. This, to me, sounds a lot like the same tactic we saw last offseason with Willie Adames. There were plenty of rumors. The front office admitted they listened on offers, but the price tag they set was so prohibitive that no team even came close to making a serious bid. That is my hope here, that Peralta's price is set so high that in the end, he remains in Milwaukee. The front office is, without a doubt, at a strategic crossroads. Peralta isn't just a number on an ERA spreadsheet. He's a leader in the clubhouse, a beloved figure, a fan favorite, and a product of our own development system. Trading him now, after the best regular season in team history, would signal a recalibration, to use the front office's favorite euphemism, rather than an all-in move for 2026. After winning the NL Central in dominant fashion, the Brew Crew's expectation is clear: reload for next year, don't dismantle. But the economic reality of Milwaukee is always the elephant in the room. Peralta is going to command a contract that could exceed $150 million in free agency. That is money that realistically the Brewers are not likely to pay. So the brutal question Matt Arnold is asking right now is, do I prefer to have Freddie Peralta for one more season and risk losing him for only a compensatory draft pick? Or do I prefer to restock our farm system right now with 3 or 4 high-level talents? It's a cold, ruthless business logic, but it's the logic that defines the Milwaukee Brewers. That's why this news, while deeply troubling, is unfortunately not surprising. My closing analysis on this top story is this: the news is bad because it opens a door we all wanted to remain firmly shut. The Brewers are doing their due diligence, and the price tag will be sky high. My gut feeling, however, tells me that, much like the Adame situation, Peralta's value to a 2026 championship run outweighs the prospect package any team would realistically offer, unless a desperate team wildly overpays with an offer we simply can't refuse. But now, I truly want to hear from you, Brew Crew. What would you do if you were in Matt Arnold's chair? Does the cold logic say to trade Peralta now at his absolute peak value, or does the fan heart say to keep our ace, go all in for 2026? and try to finally win the World Series? Leave your comments below. I want to see the debate. What is the minimum trade package you would even consider accepting for Freddie Peralta? Thanks for watching Brewers Fan Central. I'm going to keep digging on this story and will bring you any updates as soon as I get them. Don't forget to like this video, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel for more fast, in-depth, and exclusive analysis just like this. See you next time.